How do I stay encouraged when I've been made redundant 4 times after almost 10 years in the industry, and as a result having to start over each time and navigating this difficult time job searching? So I guess we can go a little bit more in depth into some of these ways of how to keep your head up, how to stay encouraged.
Yeah, and I think it's also, really good to acknowledge that 4 redundancies is a lot to carry on an individual, and that it would completely make sense if you felt exhausted or discouraged, or if you had to feel like you were starting again. But I think, again, it's sort of looking at separating your worth to the instability of the industry, which, we are touching on in lots of different capacities in regards to the changes of the industry's economic situations, all those sorts of things. So that doesn't represent your value or your capacity. You have a lot of value and a lot of capacity. It's just trying to find the next opportunity that those both align, like you were talking about with taste, that is value, that is of value to a particular agency. So finding those ones where are your sort of unique skills that you can bring. I was also thinking about this in regards to the instability of the industry, and Creative Australia's 2025 Creative Workplaces Scoping Study also found that the sector is dealing with precarious work conditions, economic pressure, complex and non-linear creative career pathways. Shocking. So I guess one really good thing is, when you are in a state of low before you sort of flux, is really trying to remind yourself that this is something that is not just you, and like I said, leaning on community. Also, if you have been in the industry for 10 years, I would say that you probably have lots of skills and you're not starting from zero, you're starting a little bit further down the road, and it's not a hard stop, it's a pivot. So, what is that pivot? I think it's a really great time to take stock of where you are, what is it you want to do, what are your priorities. A lot of us don't have the opportunity to sort of stop and think about what's next for us if we are in careers for really long periods of time, and that we are in an industry where there is a lot of flux. So, thinking about that, and that could take you on, another agency or creative role, or it could take you on a completely different creative path. So I think really looking at those itches you want to scratch, and I guess taking time. But I guess in regards to resilience, perspective is a really big thing. It can really help us bring us out of our states of low, connecting with your community. But then, I guess also making sure that whatever's next is aligning with your values. And if there are things in between that can get you excited during that process of sort of just waiting for that next opportunity to come. So if it's your own projects, if you're volunteering and doing some really cool stuff that you can take to interviews as well, and sort of show that sort of different side of yourself. You might connect with someone that really loves dogs and you've been volunteering at the dog shelter or whatever it is. So there are lots of ways to sort of, I guess, fill your cup and maintain those skills while you are sort of waiting for what's next. And it's not that you suck, you haven't lost your skills, it's just your circumstances, I suppose, and how do you support yourself during those circumstances. But if it does affect your sleep and your mood, your appetite, or your relationships, then it's perfectly okay for you to seek support during that. So like I said, if that is community, if that is a mentor or your GP, or if you are sort of have someone that you can talk to in those different capacities, or go on that Jazzy link that you put in there, Andy, as well, in regards to how to get help. So it's totally okay to have help while you navigate this tricky, complex time.
Yeah, I think that like the keeping encouraged bit as well is so important, because I think it can show, like if you do get opportunities to go and meet people, or you'll get an interview or something, if you're not in a great place, it can show up in that interview as well. I remember once when I was younger, and I'd seen a recruiter, and the first time they met me, they're like, oh, wow, this is amazing, full of energy, I can get you into lots of different places. And then 2 years later, after I'd been in a job, and I'd met the same recruiter again, and they went, are you all right? Like, you're nothing like I remember. And obviously, either I was having a bad day or my energy had dropped. But it's easy to forget that, like, that's actually a big part of the impression you're going to make to people as well. So that can make a huge difference. Do you notice any differences in that, Nick, in terms of like what that's like as you are meeting people and interviewing for roles?
Yes. I mean, obviously the energy that you bring into a meeting, and because I'm very pro in-person meetings and that sort of thing. So the energy you bring to that meeting is super. So I think your advice of like nut through some of those things and feel good about where you're at and take time and then go back out there with fierce excitement and energy. Yeah, that was good advice.